like to call to order Milan Area Schools Board of Education regular meeting for Wednesday, August 14th. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Mr. Farrow will be arriving in a little bit, so we'll make note when he arrives. All other board members are present. We will start. We can let the record know that Mr. Farrow arrived at 7:01. We will start with communications. With public comments. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It's not to be considered a public meeting. There are 2 times for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. When addressing the board, you will be asked to state your name. The board determines the amount of time granted to individuals or groups to speak. Each person shall be allowed to speak for up to 3 minutes. Board members may question speakers but are not obligated to answer questions or make statements or commitments in response to issues raised by the public. In general, such items will be referred to the superintendent for advisement, investigation, study, and/or recommendation, or designated as future agenda items for board consideration. Are there any students who'd like to address the board? Are there any public members who'd like to address the board? All right. With that, we will move on to routine matters for approval. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 31st, 2024.
Moved by Murray.
Supported by Gutierrez.
It's been moved and supported to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 31st, 2024. Any questions or comments? All right, it's been moved and supported to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 31st, 2024. Ms. Heika.
Gutierrez.
Yes.
Heika, yes. Murray.
Yes.
Pryor.
Yes.
Rosenleacher.
Yes.
Sislo.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting closed session of July 31st, 2024.
Motion by Rosenleacher. Support by Pryor.
So moved and supported to approve the minutes of the regular meeting closed session of July 31st, 2024. These are the minutes on the envelopes. Any concerns? You can pass those in. All right, it's been moved and supported to approve the minutes of the regular meeting closed session of July 31st, 2024. Ms. Heika.
Heika, yes. Murray.
Yes.
Pryor.
Yes.
Rosenleacher.
Yes.
Sislo.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Gutierrez.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next up, I need a motion to approve the bills and reimbursement of expenses.
Moved by Farrow.
Support by Heika.
So moved and supported to approve the bills and reimbursement of expenses. Any comments or questions?
Mr. Sislo.
Yes, Mr. Farrow.
I did have a few questions for Krista Hendricks, but they were promptly resolved. There were no other issues.
Thank you, Mr. Farrow. Any others? It's been moved and supported to approve the bills and reimbursement of expenses. Ms. Heika.
Murray.
Yes.
Pryor.
Yes.
Rosenleacher.
Yes.
Sislo.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Gutierrez.
Yes.
Heika, yes. Motion carries 7-0.
All right. Now we move on to our strategic plan business. First up in the area of finance and operations, I need a motion to approve undesignated the Harkness Estate designated fund balance of $50,000, thus releasing the funds into the general fund.
Moved by Farrow.
Support by Pryor.
It's been moved and supported to approve the undesignating the Harkness Estate designated fund balance of $50,000, thus releasing the funds into the general fund. Mr. Gearbaugh.
A couple of board members approached me to have a discussion about doing this, and we have a couple of projects that happened recently that fit right into the type of things that Don did when he was alive. And so it makes sense to use his funds in a way that kind of fit his tradition. And so we are asking you to move those into the general fund, and they would then be used to cover those projects that were in line with his wishes.
Thank you, Mr. Gearbaugh. That is correct. That there's support from some board members in regards to that. Mr. Harkness was a great man that supported Milan area schools in the greater Milan area. So um, that we have projects in line with his wishes is appropriate. Any other questions or comments? All right, it's been moved and supported to approve undesignating the Harkness Estate designated fund balance of $50,000, thus releasing the funds into the general fund. Ms. Heika?
Pryor,
Yes.
Rosenleecher,
Yes.
Sislo,
Yes.
Pharaoh,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Heika, yes. Murray,
Yes.
motion carries 7-0.
Next up in our area of learning, environment, and culture, we have some policy updates. I need a motion to adopt all policies, policy revisions, and policy rescissions as described in Attachment A, and to further suspend the second reading requirement for these policy adoptions, policy revisions, and policy rescissions. The board finds that consistent with bylaw 0131.1, recent changes to federal law creates a compelling reason to suspend the second reading and to otherwise adopt, revise, or rescind the policies as described in Attachment A.
Motion by Rosenleecher.
Support by Murray.
So moved and supported to adopt all policies, policy revisions, and policy rescissions as described in Attachment A, and to further suspend the second reading requirement for these policy adoptions, policy revisions, and policy rescissions. The board finds that the consistent with bylaw 0131.1, recent changes to the federal law creates a compelling reason to suspend the second reading requirement and to otherwise adopt, revise, or rescind the policies as described in Attachment A. Mr. Gearbaugh.
Yes, the packet of policies in front of you tonight, it really centers around the new Title IX regulations that were recently put in place. We need to make sure that we are up to date with those, so it deals with sexual harassment and sexual discrimination and discrimination based on other protected classes. We are, as you will notice, rescinding but archiving the previous policy because depending on when a situation occurs determines which methodology you have to use to investigate the matter. So the old policy will not fully go away, it just won't be the current standing policy. It would have to be used on anything that occurred prior to August 1st of this year. So again, these all center around the new Title IX regulations that came out. They are part of the Troon policy package that we are using now. And the policy committee did review them and provided the go-ahead to bring them to you.
Any questions or concerns?
I would just add that these are the policies that were provided by Troon, but also, while I think Title IX was the impetus for some of these policies to get updated by Troon, there were also some changes in state law recently, which these would also cover. So the state laws, anti-discrimination policy or statutes are much broader than the federal, even prior to Title IX. And so I think that even with some of the, uncertainty as to the Title IX policies right now, the state laws still likely require this policy change.
Thank you for that clarification.
Mr. Sislo?
Yes, Mr. Rosenleecher.
Having read through all of these, I just want to say thank you to our policy committee. It's a heavy lift to look at these policies in particular to make sure that we're in alignment with all state and federal law. So thank you.
Any others? All right, it's been moved and supported to adopt all policies, policy revisions, and policy rescissions as described in Attachment A, and to further suspend the second reading requirement for these policy adoptions, policy revisions, and policy rescissions. The board finds that consistent with bylaw 0131.1, recent changes to federal law creates a compelling reason to suspend the second reading requirement and to otherwise adopt, revise, or rescind the policies as described in Attachment A. Ms. Heika.
Rosenleecher,
Yes.
Sislo,
Yes.
Pharaoh,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Heika, yes. Murray,
Yes.
Pryor,
Yes.
motion carries 7-0.
Next up in the strategic plan area of personnel and leadership, we do have a teacher appointment. Need a motion to approve Jamie Blyler as high school counselor effective for the 2024-2025 school year.
Motion by Pryor.
Support by Gutierrez.
It's been moved and supported to approve Jamie Blyler as a high school counselor effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Mr. Gearbaugh.
Yes, we are excited to bring this candidate to you. She does have experience working at Jackson High School. She's moving closer to us and therefore was looking for a new position. We used all of the required posting and hiring procedures as required by our hiring policy. And we appreciate having a great candidate to bring to you tonight to hire for that vacancy at the high school.
Any questions or concerns? All right, it's been moved and supported to approve Jamie Blyler as a high school counselor effective for the 2024-2025 school year. Ms. Heika.
Sislo,
Yes.
Pharaoh,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Heika, yes. Murray,
Yes.
Pryor,
Yes.
Rosenleacher.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Next up, we have a motion in regards to the 2025 Michigan Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contribution Act. I need a motion that the Board of Education continue to cap contributions for employee health insurance costs at no more than the annual hard cap rates determined by the Michigan Department of Treasury pursuant to Section 3 of the Michigan Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contributions Act, and that no individual contract or collective bargaining agreement may be authorized that would require the board to contribute more toward employee health insurance costs than the statutory hard cap amounts.
Moved by Heika.
Pharaoh.
Support by Heika.
I have moved by Farrow and supported by Heika that the Board of Education continue to cap contributions for employee health insurance costs at no more than the annual hard cap rates determined by the Michigan Department of Treasury pursuant to Section 3 of the Michigan Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contributions Act, and that no individual contract or collective bargaining agreement may be authorized that would require the board to contribute more toward employee health insurance costs than the statutory hard cap amounts. Mr. Gearbaugh.
As you know, this has been a discussion in the district and a piece of contract negotiations, and therefore a couple of board members approached me and felt that it was important to make it clear that the board does support being a hard cap district. It is not a requirement for the board to vote to be hard cap. It's actually the reverse. It's a requirement to vote if you're not going to be. But we really felt it was important to make it clear where the board stands on this matter.
Any questions or concerns?
All I'll say is that I thought it was very clear before, and perhaps others think it wasn't as clear, but I think it was quite clear. But I think this is important so that we're all in alignment and send the message that this is what we intend to do as a board.
Mr. Sislo.
Yeah, Mr. Farrow.
I want to echo that as well. I think we've been clear in the past on our district being hard cap. Clearly, we have to formalize the fact that we are hard cap. I think it's important too for the community to know that there are significant penalties to districts that go over the hard cap if they are a hard cap district. So I support this motion.
Thank you. Any other comments or concerns? All right, it's been moved and supported that the Board of Education continue to cap contributions for employee health insurance costs at no more than the annual hard cap rates determined by the Michigan Department of Treasury pursuant to Section 3 of the Michigan Publicly Funded Health Insurance Contributions Act. That no individual contract or collective bargaining agreement may be authorized that would require the board to contribute more toward employee health insurance costs than the statutory hard cap amounts. Ms. Heika.
Pharaoh,
Yes.
Gutierrez,
Yes.
Heika, yes. Murray,
Yes.
Pryor,
Yes.
Rosenleacher,
Yes.
Sislo.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Right. That brings us back to communications and community engagement. Are there any students who'd like to address the board? Are there any public members who'd like to address the board? All right, Mr. McMahon is not here. Superintendent comments, Mr. Gearbaugh.
Yes, thank you. Just as we approach the beginning of the year, several things to share with the community. First, the 24-25 school calendar is available online. Reminder that the first day of school will be Monday, August 26th. Families will be able to find a printable version of the calendar by clicking on the calendar icon at the top of the main website milanereaschools.org. 2024-2025 open houses. Paddock and the Paddock Early Childhood Center are on August 21st from 5 to 6:30. Simons Elementary School is on August 21st from 6 to 7:30. The middle school is on August 20th from 5 to 6:30. And the high school is on September 3rd from 6 to 7:30. We invite all of our families and students to come out, especially with our new building configurations. We invite those families to really come out and see the new buildings that their students will be attending. Another announcement for our families, the state of Michigan included funds in the state budget to continue the Michigan School Meals Program for the 24-25 school year. We're excited to announce that Milan area schools will be participating in the Michigan School Meals Program again this year. This program will provide free breakfast and lunch to all Milan area school students 4 years old and older throughout the academic year. As a household, we do ask that families still complete the application for Michigan School Meals Program. It's important for us to complete these forms, as benefits coming in other forms and grants require the true application process. So to make it clear, you do not have to apply to get the free breakfast and lunch, but we need families to apply who are qualified so that we can receive the other grant funds based on the number of applicants approved. Parents and guardians can submit their confidential applications online by going to the Meal Magic portal. A couple of important pieces of information about the Michigan School Meals Program. 1, it starts on the first day of school. 2, it is for all students 4 years old and older. Students will receive their free meals by going to the line as normal and entering their information or providing their card at the early elementary building, and receiving their lunch the way that any other student would. It's important to understand that a la carte items, individual milks, snacks, second lunches, and incomplete meals are not free. The only meals that are free are the meals that meet the federal requirements for a complete lunch. In order to cover a la carte items, individual milks, snacks, second lunches, and incomplete meals, families may still choose to fund their students' account by going to the Meal Magic portal and contributing funds to their students' account. We also want to remind our families that the building configurations for the 24-25 school year are changing. Paddock will be birth through first grade, Simons second through fourth grade, the middle school 5th through 8th grade, and the high school 9th through 12th grade with adult and community education. It's also important to note that our young adult program is still housed at the middle school. And so we just want folks to know what building they need to head to on August 26th. We also want to remind our elementary families that Paddock and Simons start times did flip this year. That means that Simons starts first at 8:50 a.m. and Paddock starts second at 9 a.m. All before and after school care programs, Breakfast Club and Prime Time, will be housed at Paddock, and those are open to students through 5th grade. For details about Breakfast Club or Prime Time, you can call Sheila Meyer at 439-5118. On July 10th, the Board of Education voted to place a site sinking fund millage proposal on the November ballot. Over the next couple of months, the district will be working diligently to educate our voters on every aspect of the millage proposal. The community education process will include backpack flyers being sent home with students, information being posted on the district website, and community forums being held where presentations will be provided and community questions will be answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gerbaugh. Board member comments.
Mr. Sisso,
Yeah, Mr. Farrow.
I just want to thank you and Brian and Scott Morrell from MASB for coordinating the recent superintendent evaluation training and discussion. I just thought it was very good for all of us. And then just one quick shout out to Robert Hull, our athletic director. I just want to wish him all the best in his current and future endeavors. That's all for me.
Thank you, Mr. Farrow. Others, Ms. Pryor.
Yes, I just want to remind everyone with school starting, that means all activities are starting to resume. Basketball, girls volleyball, and soccer as well as football. Currently, boys soccer is having a fundraiser this coming Sunday. Information's on Facebook. It's a golf fundraiser. Please reach out and contact them if you're interested. The girls basketball team is also hosting a arts and crafts fair, and the football team is having a kind of like a kickoff for their first initial game. They're having some food trucks and other vendors, and you can contact Mr. DeMars for more information about that. But all the information for those programs are on Facebook. So just welcome back, everybody, and have a great rest of your summer.
Thank you, Ms. Pryor. Others? Ms. Gutierrez?
I appreciate Mr. Gearba going over the open houses. Those are always a really fun time, and I know many of us plan to be there, even in buildings where we may not have kiddos, just because it's such a fun time. And so I just want to wish all of our families, our staff, our students a really wonderful academic year. I know that at least for my two kiddos, their schedules were released on Power School today, so there's been a ton of excitement and fervor going through phone calls and who's class. And so this is like the countdown to the start of the first of the year. And I really appreciate all the work that has gone into the Reimagining Milan. And I'm excited to see how this is going to come to fruition. I think it's a really great, positive move in so many ways for our district. And it means that my sixth grader is excited she's not going to be the youngest one in the building. So it came at a timely time. But I'm really proud of that work that the district has done to realign our schools. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful year. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez. Others?
Mr. Sisler?
Yeah, Ms. Murray.
I'll just briefly echo that gratitude that Ms. Gutierrez shared about just everyone's contributions toward this Reimagining Milan opening year. It feels really brand new throughout the district, a lot of things changing, and I'm excited to see how it all rolls out. But I know that there's just been a ton of work that has probably been invisible to a lot of people in the community that has gone into this. And so I just want to lift up our, administrative team, our custodial team, anybody who came in and worked, even if you're not an administrator or a member of our custodial staff, but you came in and contributed to those moves. And, as a teacher who moved classrooms about 7 times in 15 years, I fully relate to what that's like and know that that's both exciting and exhausting. So to all the teachers still settling in and getting used to your new digs, hats off to you and good luck. And then I also want to just extend a quick thanks to the District Communications Committee. I had the opportunity to attend that meeting this past Monday, and just want to thank them for their input as Mr. Gearbob prepares to get information and communication out to the district about our site sinking fund. Their input was incredibly valuable, and I just really appreciated those members taking the time to share their perspective about how best to reach our community and let them know the important details and reasons why we have decided to move forward with a site sinking fund this year. So thank you to Mr. Gearba for all of that work developing that communication, and then to our committee for their valuable insights. And we won't meet again until the start of the school year. So get your last trips in and enjoy, relax, rest, and best wishes for a great first day. I hope to be out there at open houses. Thanks.
Cool. Others? All right, I have none myself. Next up, I need a motion to enter into closed session pursuant to Section 81C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act for negotiation strategies.
Moved by Heike.
Support by Gutierrez.
So moved and supported to enter into closed session pursuant to Section 81C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act for negotiation strategies. There will be no other business before the board except for adjournment after we come back from closed session. Any other comments? All right, it's been moved and supported to enter into closed session pursuant to Section 81C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act for negotiation strategies. Ms. Heike?
Gutierrez.
Yes.
Heike, yes. Murray.
Yes.
Pryor.
Yes.
Rosen-Leacher.
Yes.
Sisla.
Yes.
Farrow.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, we are going into closed session at 7:25. All right, we've come back into open session at 8:58 p.m. And we are going to adjourn at 8:58 p.m. Drive home safely.